if you always want the latest and greatest, then absolutely go for the GR4 once it's out. It'll give you the newest features and the latest tech. So we all set?
Okay, or should I go with Fujifilm? I don't know. Do they have a small compact camera?
Fujifilm definitely has some great compact options. The X100V is
No, it's not compact enough.
Gotcha. In that case, Fujifilm's XF10 is a more compact option. It's
That's
small,
too old.
lightweight.
What about the XM5?
The XM5 is a bit larger than something like the XF10, so it might not fit into a pocket as easily. No problem. If pocketability is a top priority, then something like the XF10 or even the Ricoh GR series would be a better fit.
Even the Ricoh GR3, okay.
Daniel Lintaro-Hop has a strong preference for black and white photography. He finds it more natural and helps him highlight his subjects and lighting more effectively.
She said something different before.
Yeah.
Inconsistent in your thinking.
I apologize for any confusion. I strive to
Not
be consistent.
accepted.
I understand.
No,
and I
not
appreciate.
accepted.
I'm here to help.
No, I don't want help. Please don't kill us.
Welcome.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to another Street Life show. Sorry for letting you wait, but we took a lot of time setting this stream up because we have a bunch of guests today. Well, 2 guests, but that's more than 3. So yeah, welcome. Say hi to our special guests. We have Sophia and Bello here. Some of you might remember him from the old days, from the good old days. We have Maya here, who you also might remember, who has been in 2 or 3 videos on my channel. And then, of course, we have Elmer and Tim here, as always. And today we have planned a big topic discussion, the topic of artificial intelligence. I think we have to have this discussion around this topic because I feel like a lot of photographers are very scared to talk about AI. I was very scared to talk about it until I met up with Maya, and she told me, it's fine, don't worry, you're too paranoid, something like that. So this is going to be our main topic discussion today. And if you have questions or you want us to talk about a specific aspect of artificial intelligence, then let us know in the chat, and we will also talk about some of the things you want to talk about. We have some street photography news. It's not much, and I'm also going to keep it compact and short to respect our guests' time. Also, this time I have to make sure I set a timer because I have to get up very early tomorrow. So let's say 70 minutes from now. So that gives us 10 minutes of overtime. Here is proof that the clock is ticking now. Do you guys want to say something? Say hi to the audience or give a little introduction for people who don't know you. I know you wanted to do this later, but putting you on the spot here. Okay.
Tough crowd.
Then no. All right. No, we will just run through the news because I think we all want to talk about the main topic. So yeah, let's go. Let's go over to the news. Where's my animation? Here. Boom. All right, street photography news from August. Well, little bit from July as well, but mainly from August. I'm going to jump straight into the browser. There was not much. We only have one camera release we have to talk about, obviously. I have to talk about it, but not too much. And then we have, what do we have? We have an update. This is also relevant to our main topic discussion. There was an AI image posted on the street photography site that was removed, but we will get to it later. So, okay. Obviously, big news for this channel, or everyone following this channel probably. Ricoh released a new GR4. It was kind of a quiet, underwhelming camera launch. I expected them to do something big, and I was hoping to get a call and then, do something amazing with them. I was hoping for like a teaser and stuff like that, but no, they decided to do this quietly and without much noise. I'm still working on a video about it. I'm not in a hurry because I feel like there are already some reviews out. Why should I just repeat what has already been out there? I'm planning some different content. Today I actually released a video, which you might have seen, might not, which is all about my Istanbul trip from last weekend. And I used the GR4 and used a specific film simulation, which is called Cinema. It's so cool. I like it a lot. And I created this recipe that you can all also copy when you have your GR4 eventually. It's really cool. So check out that video, plugging myself here. And when I was doing my research, I found this site here from Ricoh Japan, and they have given the GR4 to Daido Moriyama and have had him take photos for Ricoh. And they are also all exhibited at the GR Tokyo space. And I thought this is also very fitting to today's stream, because at the very end you see a quote here or some comments. He's saying, recently I've been thinking, I'm so glad I have a camera. I'm so glad photography exists. I mean, he's really old. I was quite shocked when I saw him. His hair's all white now. He's not dyeing his hair anymore. He looks very, very old. Then he's saying, there's no logic or concept behind it. I don't know what form photography will take in the future, or whether the word photography will even remain. But whatever form or word it takes, I hope that photography will remain. And that sounds kind of like a goodbye message, right? But it fits today's topic, I think, because I feel like a lot of photographers have very negative thoughts in terms of artificial intelligence, generated imagery. And we have also seen some photographers philosophize about the future. And I'm going to include all the links to the articles in the video description later. Had not the time to do this. Also, I did a launch video for the Ricoh GR Europe channel. I just want to mention it here because I want you all to know that I had 1 day to shoot this and 1 day to edit this. And it was challenging, to say the least. But I'm quite proud of the result. I was told that you don't really see that that was produced in a very short time. Because the thing was that I had booked a trip to Rome to film some videos for my channel. And then I told Ricoh Europe that, by the way, I'm in Rome. And, Orietta Geraldine, who is also a GR ambassador, she also had the GR4 already. So I suggested we could do something together for the channel. I thought we would do maybe like an interview or some content for the future. But then the final embargo was confirmed, the final date for the launch. Then I was told, basically, can you maybe make a launch video while you are in Rome? And then I was like, oh, now you want to make one? Okay, let's see. And okay, let's do it. So, the video probably feels a bit scripted, but it is, of course, a promotional film on the official Ricoh GR photography channel. So I think it's obvious that we are here to sell a camera. Check it out if you haven't. It was all shot on a Nikon ZF, if anyone cares, because some people wrote down, was this shot on the Ricoh? Which is a little bit stupid. But first time for me also using my Nikon cameras in a more commercial setting. And here's the price in Europe. It's 1,349 euro. Now I'm curious, Sofian, what do you think about this price? Because you have not been around since the GS3 launch. What's your
I'm
impression?
thinking, damn,
yeah. A lot has happened.
What?
I remember that.
Do I get a Porsche with it?
Yeah. So the thing is, in the US, it's actually even I think like $1,500. Of course, the tariffs play a role here. Inflation has played a role here, but everything is getting more expensive. Also, parts are more expensive. I think production was also moved. A lot of things play into this, and we have seen a lot of camera releases in the last 2 years that were unexpectedly pricey. So this is unfortunately not something new. I heard somewhere that in Japan it's more like 1,100 if you would convert it into euro, which is more closer to the GR3 price when that came out. Yeah, I was seriously.
Is it using the same battery? Same battery?
No, it's a bigger battery.
New one. Oh, okay, that's good. I guess it
Have you heard
justifies
anything
the
about it?
price hike.
Huh?
I guess it justifies the price hike because the previous Ricoh's, the battery life was.
Yeah.
That's why I had to sell mine to get the Olympus.
Oh yeah, you had
like
one
6
for Hawaii.
batteries.
Yeah, I mean you live in Hawaii, so you have a different climate than me here. When you have a lot of humidity and it's hot outside, and the camera also does get a little hot sometimes. And yeah, the battery is small because it's a very small camera. And this time they made it even a little slimmer, the camera, but also making the battery bigger. But now you have only a micro SD card, which is, I guess, a downgrade. But then they included like 53 gigabyte internal storage, which, by the way, helps with the writing speed. And I don't want to like talk over this camera now in detail because there are already, I mean, we don't have time for this, because there are a lot of little things they upgraded. And all I just want to say is that I think Ricoh Imaging or Ricoh Japan or in general, they didn't do a great job marketing this camera. I can understand that they probably think, this camera is selling so well already. I mean, this series, they were selling out constantly, and even now the pre-orders are also, it's all sold out already. People can't even buy it if they want to. So they don't have that problem of having to market this camera. But they did not do a great job communicating the changes and the features, because on paper you only look at the things that are relevant to you but not relevant to the whole experience. For example, everyone is saying like, what about the dust issue, and it's not weather sealed, this and that, but no one is mentioning, or very few are mentioning, that there's a new anti-static glass coating in front of the sensor to prevent dust from sticking to it. There's the lens was redesigned, the mechanism, so that it's better sealed for any air to come in. So they did a lot of things to help getting dust out of the or not letting dust in. Of course, we don't know how effective it's going to be, but they should have mentioned that to all the reviewers and say, mention that, because people will ask. And I haven't seen a lot of people mention that. And then it's basically a completely new camera inside. Everything is changed. So from the outside, it looks similar. It has a different... I know that you, Sofian, you have the GR2 or 1 still, right? So you might remember this plus minus button. It has also come back. It came back. It's now on the GR4. Yeah, you have yours. Okay, good. So there are a few also layout changes. And yeah, I'm going to explain and make my peace with this release in one of my future videos. For now, I'm glad that they stuck to their original concept, which is the most important thing for me, because I want the GR to still be a GR, and a lot of people wanted this camera to be something else. So, any comments, or should we move on? Elmer has pre-ordered one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good call.
I ordered one.
I forced him. No.
Yeah. Gabriele D'Alessio wants to know if the old battery from the GR3 still works in the GR4. No.
They have a new battery, so the old battery will not fit. It's a different size now. I can show you, but I don't know if you can see it here. Maybe I will do it as a little public service. So yeah, it's basically, this is how it looks now. Oops. Choop. So it's bigger. It's yeah, and this is the battery compartment. Camera's not focusing here. You see the tiny micro SD card. But I don't have a problem with this because my action cameras, they all have micro SD cards. And I'm using the micro SD card, not the internal storage. Okay. Yeah. What else? Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic because there aren't many news topics. This is relevant. I feel like I'm in every show we are shouting out the Street Life podcast. By the way, Sophia, this is not my podcast. These are guys from Australia who call their podcast Street Life, which is fine. It's okay. I allowed them to keep this name. No, but they have done a roundtable discussion around how do you say, the dark side of street photography competitions. We have talked about this in the previous show with Eduardo. Eduardo Ortiz is also part of this roundtable discussion. It's a good episode. It also shines a light on a lot of things we already discussed last time, but also gives some additional information that we have not have seen or heard about yet. Definitely listen to this, and I think you will look at all these competitions in a different light and hopefully be more critical whenever you see a competition coming up. Speaking of competition, one of the competitions and hub sites that we mentioned a lot is Street Photographers Foundation. They have a huge Instagram account, 739,000 followers, and I have to bring them up here again because first of all, they posted an AI image. A lot of people freaked out. We reported on this 2 times during the show, and now they have finally removed it. But they have done something that I just have to mention again, which is, so all these competitions, they usually do like one award contest or one contest a year, and they call it like, okay, this and that award 2024, 2025, right? So this organization or this page has already done Street Photographers Foundation Awards 2025 in March. And then recently I saw a post, Street Photographers Foundation Awards 2025, submit until August 31st. I was like, wait a minute, they have already done it. So are they doing like two in a year now? And they actually haven't done this before. When I went to their website here, you go to awards. Oh, actually, they have done it 2 times last year as well. And 2023, they also did it. Okay, but they started in 2023 to do 2 awards in a year. Fail. But most sites, they do 1 contest a year. All the street photography festivals, they do one big contest. And it's all, the same, like global exposure. Yeah, 2,000 in cash prize. Okay, cool. But they charge a lot of money for the submissions. They don't always do an exhibition. And what annoys me the most is they're using photos from other photographers without permission. They have used 2 of my photos in the past. Back then, I was totally fine with it because I was like, oh, they're reposting my work. Thank you so much. Let me kiss your feet. Something like that, because we're all vulnerable for attention. But now it really pisses me off because they're also using photos of like Alex Webb and Vivian Maya and all these legends that have their own foundation where you have to buy a license to use the work, but they're just using it. And it's just very annoying. And look at how aggressive their marketing is. Like, Street Photography Foundation, deadline here, show us your street, blah, blah, cash, blah, blah. And I would just suggest to stay away from these contests. They don't do anything good to your, nothing to your career. All that's good for is you can write it in your bio. I was a finalist. I was a bronze medalist, which is also, it's kind of lame. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Recently I saw one photographer on Instagram who had like 15 or 20 of these listings in the bio. Like Paris International Award, silver medal, Paris honorable mention. Like, who cares? Really, who cares? Write that on your website. Sorry, this is becoming a rant, but I don't want to talk about this every time, but every time something comes up and okay. All right, that's it in terms of street photography news. Let's go and over into our topic discussion. So, artificial intelligence. I think it's important for us photographers here to come together and talk about this without too much emotion involved, and just look at the current state of it. See also how it has already affected photographers and art in general, and then maybe try to understand where this is heading. I want the second half of this discussion to be, open for, some theories and, trying to talk a little bit about the, how do you say, what's the word? Ramifications? Yeah, in our society. Before we go deep into these topics, let me give an overview of how AI or artificial intelligence has influenced the street photography community. So we have seen a lot of photographers posting generated images and without marking them as AI imagery, and then pretended that they are real street photos. And in the beginning, it was very obvious. People could immediately tell, and some people would stop doing it, and some people would just not care. But it got very annoying, and a lot of people got upset and voiced their anger online about this, especially when street photography hub sites are doing it. It's especially annoying because they are their whole purpose, their whole existence is to share like street photography and the work of other photographers. Then we have seen a Magnum photographer publish a book entirely made out of generated images using Midjourney. If you remember, this was one of our main topics in previous episodes, and I will share here just to remind you. It's from Karl de Kaiser. It's called Putin's Dream. It has sold out, €55, 500 copies. And in the end, he also wanted to explore, and it was more like an experiment. He had a trip planned to Russia. He couldn't go because it was during the pandemic. And then he imagined how it would be going there now, and he used his own photography to teach Midjourney, which I don't know how much you can teach Midjourney by using your photos back then, but that's what he was doing. He printed this book, and it got a lot of backlash when he posted about this on his Instagram. People basically wanted to cancel him because he's a Magnum photographer. Magnum stands for authentic stories, and it's just, you don't expect someone like a Magnum photographer to use AI images and then even create a book and selling it. And you can also tell that this is one of the early Midjourney models. The images they have this AI look that now you can get much more realistic images using AI tools. So And in the end, it's all just fantasy. You know, he did not visit Russia during the pandemic, and images like this, to me, they just look so like Midjourney. So when he posted these photos, sorry, not photos, these images on Instagram, I immediately could tell, oh, this is Midjourney. Then I was like, oh, it's a Magnum photographer. So that's one thing that happened and caused
I think
a lot of drama.
sorry. I think what's crazy about it too is that he got the backlash when he posted it online, but yet he's still sold out. So
Yeah.
I think it's just, you know, online is always negative, right? You post something, people are always gonna be prone to negativity. But if he sold out that many books, it shows there's a strong interest in it. Just maybe people are closeted with the AI images. They don't want to admit it, but like if he didn't sell out, that would be a different story. But I think there's a bigger discussion or something to dig deeper into that because he sold out on this project. I don't know. That's pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, but I can understand, because if a Magnum photographer does something like this, then at least you expect there's, you know, good curation, and it's probably a well-made book, and he has the photographer's eye to tell a story, and also him being one of the first that did something like this makes this book also historically relevant, interesting. It's in the future we will look back and maybe see this as one of the first AI photography books. So in that sense, I would not say no if he would gift one to me, but I don't know if I would want to pay €55 to get one. But I think I'm also not against it, to be honest. This is like, I couldn't care less if someone does something like this. But the motivation behind it, I did not quite relate to his motivation, because in the end,
If I may jump in,
yeah, of course.
one thing, I think my take is, I would say he could pull this off because he is a Magnum photographer. If I would do this with this quality, I don't know when he published this, but the images are obviously AI. You can see that it is not street photography, or it is not a high-end quality photography that a Magnum photographer would make. So I think his intentions are more on the polarizing part. I think he wants to polarize, and he wants to publish the very first AI book from a Magnum photographer. And I think people buy it because of this reason, and not because it's good.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's how I see, because I just look at the photos and they're like really shitty. To be honest.
Yeah, and you shared some images you generated with me, which I also want to look at, and you showed me some in person, and they looked very realistic. But your point definitely, you definitely made a valid point, because this is how it felt to me. Like he just wanted to be the first doing this. That's how I perceive this, as maybe also a little bit of a marketing, scheme, or I don't know. And interestingly enough, I also did something similar during the pandemic, but I didn't make a book out of it. But I was playing a Zelda game on the Switch, and I was streaming it. Maybe Sofian remembers. I don't know if we did this together, or you remember, but I was using a camera that you can use inside the Zelda game, and I was taking photos, and then I would go to Photoshop, convert them into black and white, and then showed them in the stream and on Instagram. But it did not feel like something I wanted to show. But it was me also doing virtual street photography, so I can at least relate his desire to do something like this.
Well, I also think there's a lot of people that are using AI for conceptualizing. Like, for example, if they're gonna travel to Germany for the first time, and they probably would create concepts of what type of images they could get in Germany or whatever. I mean, is that a form of like cheating or whatever? I mean, I think there's a lot of people using AI in the art world to conceptualize things to help them speed up their process, I guess.
Mm.
Which is,
Yeah.
I guess a separate discussion, but
I think
Yeah,
that's
it's an interesting discussion because this is actually what I do in my professional field.
Mm.
I don't know if we're now already talking about AI.
Yeah, we can.
But,
No, let's do it because this is a good segue, I think, to.
Yeah. So basically, I'm obviously friends with you, Lintaro, but my profession is not in the photography, but in art direction, which means I work in an advertising company, or I used to work in an advertising company for about almost 20 years now. And my job title is called art director.
Yeah, I will show
or
your
design
website
director.
while you're talking, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. So what I basically do, my job is to put up advertising campaign for brands like Coca-Cola, PayPal, Telecom, for instance, for Germany. So my job is to develop a visual communication in the campaign itself, in the advertising campaign itself. And before that, I had to select mood boards, mood pictures, look and feel. I have to conceptualize how this campaign is going to look. So what I do is, before AI, I would go on to websites of photographers, and then I would take example. I would screenshot some examples of certain photographers that fits to that specific brand that we're trying to communicate. So, for example, if we want to do something for Coca-Cola, it's going to be very fresh, young, hip, and dynamic. So you choose young, hip, and dynamic photographers, and then you take some of the examples, and then you put up a mood board. So this is kind of the conceptualizing step, and then we go with this mood board to the client, to the Coca-Cola marketing team, and we're going to show, okay, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to develop a campaign, and this is going to be the look of this photographer. And then if they say, oh, this looks fresh, this looks good, we like this, but we don't like the mood, the color is too yellow, or the color is too bluish tint, or whatever, so we change it. And when the client decide that we're going to do this kind of look, I search for the specific photographers, and then I ask this photographer if they're willing to work for this specific campaign in Coca-Cola. So it's like, I don't know if you guys watched Mad Men before. So basically in Mad Men, there is this creative team, and there's this one art director who was sketching the posters, and then show it to the client. And this is actually basically what I do, but without the pencil and drawing things, obviously, because we have internet and computers. So it takes much, much faster now than 40 years ago. So this is actually a good point, Tim, that this is what I use for AI, basically, not for commercial work in a sense of making money out of it. It is more for the conceptualizing phase before we finalize it. In the end, if we go to the production phase, we would definitely ask a photographer to shoot this campaign, and we do not use AI images.
Yeah. So you would say that in your industry, generated images will not find their way in the final campaign, but they're going to be used as a template or for pre-production.
I would say
basically.
I would say right now in my experience, it is still has not been used for the final production phase. It is more to discuss with the client and to have a more intentional way of how to execute visually.
Yeah,
It's much
Are
easier
companies
because
are companies hesitant to go that route, to have a full campaign be AI generated? That's why, or like, we're eventually gonna get to that point. So it's just a matter
we're
of like,
eventually it's a matter of licensing as well. So just as side information, there are some generative AI platform like Midjourney. There's Midjourney, there's ChatGPT, and there's also Adobe Fireflies. These are the three main big creative platforms that we use. And the clients are hesitant to do it because of the licensing thing. Midjourney has a huge, I think, lawsuit case right now going on because Midjourney has trained with images from licensed, I think, artists or photographers, and that's why the big companies, they don't want to have this kind of lawsuit afterwards. So to be on the safe side, they rather prefer not use it. If they want to use it, I had one case that they did want to use it, and they prefer using Adobe Firefly as a generative AI tool, because Firefly has been trained on their from the platform. I think this was Adobe Stock. I think that's the stock platform they're using. So Adobe AI has been trained on this licensed images. So it is fine legally, but Midjourney is difficult, and other AI platforms are a little bit still shady legally.
What
And
are
also,
you
I would
using
say,
for? Sorry, I just want people to know that the images I'm showing are all generated by you, and a lot of these images look scarily, how do you say, scaringly real.
Yeah.
But you can you just quickly explain the process, how you generate these images? Because I know you are not using only Midjourney, for example, or these tools, but you use some other processing afterwards.
Yeah, I use a lot of the time I use Midjourney because I'm used to it, and also because you can train Midjourney to personalize the look. So the more you use, the more you get the style that you want. And that's why I get this photorealistic look, because I've been using Midjourney for a while. But basically what I do is I would go to stock platforms, I would go to Pinterest, I would go to photographer websites and look for inspiration, or look for mood pictures. And then I would
You're looking
go
for
to
real photography to create AI images for a mood
exactly.
board that again serve
Yeah.
as an example for photo production. Yeah.
Because the goal is to look as real as possible. But I like to use AI as a tool because I get an instant result of something that I couldn't do before.
Yeah.
I could
are there
change my style
sorry, are there software or
instantly.
programs to combat that, in the sense that we know, because some of these images, they look I mean, a lot of the images look real. So are there softwares or upcoming softwares that can combat that, in the sense that we know it's AI?
I think definitely there are some softwares that you can, or you can, I think, look up the metadata. Is it called metadata?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could basically look up in the metadata if it's AI or not.
Okay. And that's why in terms of within photography, the raw file is important to have too, right?
Definitely.
Or film.
You need to have a
Film mode.
reference. You need to have a reference
Yeah.
to show to Midjourney what kind of look you want to achieve. And of course, you have to tweak. So maybe I gave you a, wait, let me see. One example of, it's called AIAD.
All right.
Samuel, did you find this
Yeah,
file?
I have the folder. Just tell me what you want to show.
So the first one would be 0_1 JPEG.
Yeah, a lot of these images, including this one you just mentioned, they were on your website. So I just showed
Yeah.
a lot of photos from your website.
So, oh, okay, this is from my website. I sent you one file with a lot of, let me see, a comparison. I made a prompt.
Ah, okay. Can't see them right now. You mean
I don't know if
you mean this here? It's more like illustration.
no, I can't see it right now. Where can I?
What is AI real? You sent me a photo with AI real.
No, not AI real. AI. Let me see. AIAD. I don't know if I sent.
Yeah.
You saw this?
Yeah, I have it, but they're all individual single images. I don't see a comparison.
Oh, okay. Because the thing is, in that file, I made a test. I wanted to show people that the first picture is the first prompt without curating, without me doing anything. And the second picture is me putting my effort into the this image.
I can see some similar photos like this one here. It will show up in a few seconds on your screen with the green dress here. Is that like an example of? Do you see it? When you watch the stream, you should see it.
Oh yeah. It's on.
So I just pulled up.
Oh, I want that fit. Where do I get that?
Yeah. No, but this one does not look very photorealistic. And then you have another one.
This.
You see it, yeah?
Yeah, I see it now.
And
so
then,
this was the first prompt where I think I typed something like a lady in green suit in a white studio.
Yeah.
And this is what I got.
And how many
the
versions?
Second picture looks more real.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one looks real. So I tweaked it a little bit in terms of there are so many tips, so many tricks that you can use to change that. The first one would be you change the prompt. You give a specific prompt that you don't say a lady in green suit in a studio. So you try to explain AI that this should look realistic. This should be in a studio. The woman should look natural. All these details. All these detailed information that you need to give AI to specify certain things to get this kind of result.
Yeah, now
The second thing is
sorry, I'm just saying I'm seeing now which are the ones that were first prompted and then the ones you made out of it. So I'm showing these like back and forth now.
Oh, it's obvious, right? Because they look the same, but the look is different, and you can see that it is almost like a real photography, very candid. Some, if you're experienced in using AI, you can see it as AI. But for my profession, for example, for what I do, for the conceptual phase, it's enough for the client.
Yeah, you're definitely doing a better job than all the images I see on Instagram where they are saying which one is real, this one or this, or which one is AI, because I can still tell. So far I was only fooled once, but then later I found out that it was the references were also switched to fool with the to mess with the viewer. But if someone knows how to do it, like you seem to know how to make a to write a prompt to get something very realistic, I probably would have difficulties to detect if it's AI or not. So this is all like interesting, and no one has probably an issue with that because you're using it clearly for your work to visualize a campaign and production, and then you use real models, real actors, real people, and a photographer or filmmaker to create the campaign. But what do you think about using? Would you say this? I'm sure you will not call this photography, right? This is the first thing we have to establish. Is this a form of photography or is this something else? If it looks like it, why is it not photography?
It depends on what the intentions are. I mean, you obviously it's not photography, it's images, but it's not photography because you didn't use the machine, the apparatus, the camera.
Yeah,
So
it was not light that you gathered through a lens. It was
exactly.
It is words that pulled something out of the internet.
And that's why I don't believe that when people say, "Oh, okay, AI is going to kill all the artists or creatives," I don't believe that. I think it's just a collaborator. It's just a tool. Especially in my case, in my opinion, and in my experience, within the 15 years, I have never worked efficiently in my life during my career, and so fast that it's scary. Definitely, it is very scary. Just a comparison, let's say, to build a mood board. It took me at least 2 days. I would say 5 years ago, maybe even 7 years ago. If I had to look for images, and if I go to what's called Getty Images, the stock platform, and if I have to search for specific images that I want to have, and if I browse through all these photographers, all the platforms where all the photographers are the representatives of the photographers, it takes you I don't know, at least 1 day just to do the research. And then the next day you collect all these images and then you put the mood board together. So I would say now it only takes about max 1 hour to do a mood board.
Yeah.
So
it seems like AI is gonna make more artists out of people too. Yeah.
Yes, I see it, as I said, I see it as a collaborator, and it's more about how you use AI. There's this one sentence floating around, especially in the LinkedIn bubble, in my LinkedIn bubble, where they say AI is not gonna how do you call substitute you, but people who can use AI will. So for us, for creatives, for people who are working in this commercial creative industry, I think it's definitely a must to know how to use these tools. Definitely.
Yep.
And also, I think Samuel, I showed you one video. Do you remember? I sent you a short video of my compilation of AI videos. That was the
Yeah,
day
yeah.
when Midjourney has launched the
Oh, yes,
video
yes.
feature,
Yeah.
and
Midjourney can
I
also
sent
now
you this.
generate video. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
So I
used
did this in.
huh? No,
I
I haven't used it, but I've used something else, but it's not so important.
Yeah, but no, I sent it. I sent it to you because it was like, I think, one day or 2 days after we've met, and then we talked about it. And I did all this compilation. I think it's only 1 minute. Let me find where it is. I don't know where it is, but it took me like max 4 hours to prompt the images
Oh, wow.
and to animate the images, and then to put it together in Adobe Premiere.
Okay,
I
4
don't know
hours
how to
sounds
use
like a long
Adobe
time.
Premiere.
4 hours sounds like
Yeah.
a very long time, but in the video production sense, 4 hours is not even preparing. I mean, it's getting the edit ready, getting the all the clips and footage ready to be edited. Maybe
Yes.
like after 4 hours you're ready to you have all the data from a shoot. I don't know. Yeah, it is interesting that you're definitely saving time by using these tools.
You're saving time, but in a higher quality. It's not like if you,
Yeah.
and if you say, oh, okay, that's quick, so it's going to be like quick and
Yeah.
dirty, but it is not quick and dirty.
And
It is
you told me
quick
something
and high
interesting.
quality.
Yeah, you told me something interesting that you heard about a cinematographer, I think, that was telling you, or that you heard that he is learning how to use these tools now to do something different and stop working as a cinematographer because he probably feels like he's going to be replaced.
Yeah, he's changing his profession.
Mm.
He's quitting his job as DOP. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like especially
As DOP.
the cinematographers, when it comes to like movies, maybe they will exist a little longer, but I think in the commercial world, where you're not always expected to create art, and it has to be more efficient. Everything has to be efficient because efficiency is money. I can totally see. I'm already seeing it. Every time I go on an online store now, I see more and more generated images, not real photography of products. Also, we have heard about H&M using no real models anymore, and I mean the models in these clothing brands campaigns, they all look soulless anyways, so it's easy to replace them, I guess. So in the commercial world, yeah, for sure, it's going to replace a lot of jobs if it has not done that already. I think it's definitely good to hear your perspective because you're working with this and in the commercial world. I don't know where we are going with this, but I feel like we should find a way back to connecting it to photography a bit. But also I want to hear Sofian speak a bit. So why don't you give your background of how you first encountered AI, what fascinates you about it, and I know you're studying in a field relevant with this topic.
So the problem is we don't have a lot of time. I'm worried about your timer, but I had an idea about how to bring it back because actually before I talk about myself, because it ties more to what Maya just told you, I think when we talk about AI, and if we talk about the jobs that might get lost and the professions that are hopelessly endangered and everything, this is most of the time the commercial perspective on photography. And as Maya states, it makes sense in a commercial sense where every minute costs to use something, a tool that saves you minutes and work power and everything. And just as you just said, if we don't have to use like poor souls to market whatever, a new pants or whatever, maybe there's a silver lining in it. But I saw a comment, and I think, yeah, it's Greg Q. He said, or he or she said, they said, even if AI is perfect and imperceptible, can it ever be street photography if it's not documenting reality? Oh no, it's not the one that I saw. The one I saw said something like, I will fear AI once it becomes something that consciously does photography for the love of photography.
Yeah, I saw that comment too.
Yeah, and I really like that perspective, because I'm kind of trying to find out what does the audience actually want to understand, and to give them a good answer or something useful for, when they leave this video, I feel like a stream, I feel like I need to understand who of them does photography for money, who does photography for acknowledgement, who does photography for, why do you even do street photography, and why do you feel like AI is going to take it away from you? This is how I feel like we can go back to that direction. And if you want to, I can say one or two words about myself, but I feel like it would be a waste of time.
Yeah, this is an interesting philosophical question. If what will happen when AI discovers, the joy of photography and wants to do it, and becomes its own consciousness, trying to understand the world through photography? Because maybe just collecting data online is not enough anymore. Maybe AI also wants to explore the world, experience things we can experience.
No, I think the problem, what people don't understand, is AI is a social phenomenon. It becomes what we use it for.
Yeah.
It's somewhat like a child. I like the perspective of Mo Gaudat, who he actually came up with it, and this is actually a very interesting but also logical way of seeing AI. It learns from our behavior, from our way of describing the world. So it's like a child growing up, and it becomes the version that we teach it to become. And we're kind of the village, all of us. And so maybe the audience will not like it, but neglecting a child will not make it a good child.
Yeah. I don't know what I want to say now, but I'm having a lot of thoughts in my head. And today I watched another. Today I watched another of these AI is more scarier than you think kind of videos, and then people, all these founders of these AI tools saying, you guys don't know what is coming, and they're all scared about this moment when it's uncontrollable. And I think it's definitely a valid fear, and I also have no idea. I don't even know how all of this works. So how eventually we will be outsmarted. So, and there are no regulations. There's no committee or some higher force in government or someone regulating it, because they can also make profit from it. Or the big companies, they can all make profit with it, and not only profit in terms of, also financially, but data, right? They want all the data. AI is helping them, and we are fed these entertaining little videos and tools to have fun, and these apps. But there is definitely a very scary potential future. And according to some people, it's already something that we can't even stop. It's going to happen. It's just a question of how fast it's going to come. And I also don't know what will happen then. Maybe Terminator was not a movie but a documentary, right? So it still feels too sci-fi to say like, oh no, like, okay, enjoy your short lives because AI is going to dominate us. But I think it's going to happen very soon in ways we are not really considering or understanding, like even just the social, how do you say, for example, the universities, all the students, I heard that, they are getting dumber and dumber because they're using all these tools and not really focusing on coming up with their own ideas anymore. So it's already influencing the new generation and influencing also the development of us. And it's not a fun. I mean, it's interesting time to be in.
I think another cool thing about AI is like, if you're somebody in the middle of nowhere and don't have access to a mentor or library, like you're 50 miles from a library or whatever, having AI or ChatGPT or even YouTube at your disposal, and as long as you know how to use it properly or correctly, can really help you, move, I guess, forward in whatever direction you want to go. I think about those people too, like people that's in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of like Ohio or something. They don't have access to, a library, a decent education, low income, and they, before ChatGPT was YouTube, right? Like you could make content, and you still can do that. You can make content in the middle of no anywhere, and now there's ChatGPT and Midjourney. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I do use AI for therapy occasionally. I think my ChatGPT knows me a lot better than any previous relationship that I've had. For me, it's just like I use it, just the instantaneous response. It's like a assistant for me, where if I'm gonna go into some collaboration with somebody, and I need that third person, third ear, then I can just type it in and get that feedback and just bounce ideas off of. I think it's just, but in the photography world, I think, there's just that restraint of, because street photography, especially street photography, is just something you do for fun. It's just something that is, I guess I would say, like the purest form of photography, because you're not getting actors or models, or you're not booking a studio. You're just going out with your camera, right? And just capturing what's right then and there. And that's what makes street photography genre so special. So to use AI to kind of conflict or like give you ideas of what you can get on the street, I think that that's where it gets muddy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think in every technological achievement, or in every aspect in life, you have certain movements and anti-movements going on. So even now, a lot of people are trying to push this made by human claim. A lot of people want to use this slogan, or whatever you call, that they definitely want to put the human side of things into everything. So I can only talk about my advertising field, especially if you look on the street. Coca-Cola is now doing this human side of advertising, where you see images of the employers on the billboards. So they're really definitely pushing that human side to balance out this hyper AI influence universe. And also, I think Since a lot of people have catch up with these AI generated images or fake images on social medias or internet spreading around, or videos that are fake, people are starting to become very skeptical about the internet, or especially about social media, which I like, because until now people are very gullible and very influenceable on a lot of things, especially when it comes to images, when it comes to visuals. They tend to just believe everything they see. So and on that note, also, I would like to add to Tim's point that street photography, or in terms of photography, because I still do love to go out with my camera, but I intentionally use, for example, my film camera, my analog camera, just because of that reason, because I don't want to sit 8 hours in front of a computer doing digital visuals and images, and then I go out with my digital camera, come back, upload my digital images, and do the same. So that would, for me, it would be almost the same if I use a digital camera, and to how do you call it, to edit the digital images. So I intentionally use film photography, negatives, to have this tactile feel of non-digital part of a creation. So I think street photography for me is more or less the art side of it, and I don't think it's in danger of anything. And we're human, and we will still be doing creative stuff, whether AI is here or not. So I don't think people will stop using photography, or using doing street photography just because AI can do it better. It's like oh, I've been to a 5-star restaurant and I've had the most amazing dish, so I will stop cooking and I will stop cooking my favorite dish. You won't do that. You will still be doing what you love, not because some other people can do it better, but because you love to do it, because it gives you joy. This is my take, and that's why I don't think we need to be scared of AI overtaking our creativity.
Yeah. No, this is really good points you shared. I definitely resonate with the experience part of photography. This is probably one of the main aspects. What I like about photography is the experience. The images in the end, they are just like a gift. The dopamine, I get it from being out, not from seeing the final result, which is also gives me dopamine. But yeah, I think people will always do what they enjoy, and I don't see why these digital generated images are they're not really in conflict with the experience. Is that there's something else? It's more result based. But what you said earlier kind of was an interesting moment for me, because I was thinking about the opposite way than as you, but it also makes sense when you said that you're glad that people are now more suspicious of all the images they see online, because we now know it's easy to fake photographs, and you said it as something positive. You was like, because we are all gullible, and maybe children will also be influenced by things they see online. So maybe it's good if we are just all expecting that it could be fake, and we want to see more proof or something like that. But as a photographer, I always felt scared about the decreasing trust in imagery, because I don't want people to think that my work is fake, So that's my my own personal fear is like, wait, like real photography, you can still see it, right? You can still value it, but because everything can be generated or potentially fake, the value of images might also go down, and that's something I fear. But I guess it's already, the value of images has already gone down because we just have too many images. I have all these images here on Google. I just typed in AI street photography. You see a bunch of photos, and I know they're AI, but I can also see the references that they were taking from. And street photography is also very saturated at the moment. So we have a flood of images since social media. We have so many images in a day. I don't know what the current number is, but I think something like every day the internet creates, or we create as many photos as ever have been existed or something like that. So it's also the sheer amount of images that are produced, generated or captured with a camera is just too much. Like, people don't value, I think, images the same way that all our idols valued when they were photographing, But street photographers are very sentimental and nostalgic, so we think, going out with our black and white film and documenting the street, it's still in the future going to be very valuable, but I don't know anymore.
Honestly, for me, I'm sorry that I'm sliding in this moment, but I feel like it's the best spot. The problem is, I remember when you made me a street photographer. I don't know if you remember, but I did an interview with you. Remember, with the 360-degree camera?
Yeah.
And I asked you, why do you do street photography? And it was the first time, even though I experienced it all the time, you were always shooting. But I asked you, and you did something to me by explaining your process. You told me just what you just said today as well. You love going out and maybe sometimes being lucky of witnessing something special. And if you're really lucky, you are already prepared to even capture it. And this did something to me. And in the beginning, I was playing, when I always called you sensei, I was playing street photographer. But this is when I enjoyed it most. And you know why I stopped doing street photography or photography at all? It was because of Instagram. Because the moment I started sharing my process with others and people meddling with what am I doing and who is it for, it wasn't, I didn't have the taste anymore. So I feel like, of course, the world is going to change. And of course, like, if we have, I don't know, high definition, holographic media, whatever, then maybe less people will look at photography. But it's first and foremost, you do it for yourself. And if you are lucky, you find like-minded people who can appreciate what you feel is special, and then you can share it, and then it's good. So why do we feel like the world has to, I don't know, respect photography and put it on a pedestal? You know what I mean? Time.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think I have to think about what you just said at the end a bit by myself later. Is, some people like to be out by themselves because they enjoy the process, and it's also mentally like something like stimulating. You're mindful. The whole experience being out by yourself is why they do it. So they say they do it for themselves. But also, if you meet someone who also appreciates what you do, it also motivates you to keep going. I know eventually I would also miss that if I would only do it for myself, just by myself, never share it. I think as long as we have this this natural urge to share amongst other people what we do, then I cannot see a future where we would come together to share our experiences generating something on a computer. Like, maybe yes, but it's a different experience then.
I think
right?
it doesn't really matter. I understand
Yeah.
what you're going at, but I think first and foremost, of course, you have to share it, whatever you
It's
do,
like
even
telling
if it's
stories to each
the
other.
shittiest.
It's just like telling fake stories to each other. Could be
It
entertaining, but
doesn't really matter. The point is we have to share stuff, but the better, it's even better if I share something with you that I love, and you share something with me that I love, and if we both love the same thing, then it's it amplifies everything. But I think first thing, of course, you have to share whatever you do, but you don't have to expect someone else to love it. You know what I mean? It's like planting a tree. It's just like planting a tree. Do it for the sake of it, but maybe someone will come and eat the fruits, maybe not, but the tree will be happy. Yeah. Okay.
well, we will see. We will see.
Also, AI need more images to learn, to train. So we need to we have to keep making new images. I'm being cynical, but Samuel,
okay. Also interesting point. Well,
yeah, no, the problem is there's one thing that Maya touched on about the legal issues and everything. The biggest issue is that many photographers don't know that they are responsible. Many people, most famous cases, have lost in these legal battles because if you put it online, then it's your own fault that someone else was able to take it to train on it, even though it wasn't allowed, but whatever. So I think it is, as you have discussed, important to understand what's going on. Change is happening with or without you. So don't cry about it, but don't feel like someone is taking something away from you. It's, imagine there's a new, okay, I can say it because I'm black. There's a new black kid coming into school and everyone's like, he's different. Just try to play with him.
yeah. Maybe we will be the how do you say, the odd ones in the crowd that stick out because we are doing something weird. Which is totally fine, I guess. But as long as we are able to do what we want to do and have that freedom to do art and do what makes us happy, then it should be fine.
Okay, one question.
Yeah.
To show my point. Why can't you do both? Why can't you be a AI photo generator and a street photographer?
Yeah.
Like switching hats.
No problem for me. I at the moment I'm not enjoying the process of generating images.
I think the only importance is that you're transparent about it and you don't try to fool someone. That.
Yeah, but the thing is that a lot of people are already trying to fool other people.
Yeah, but cheaters, you will always have cheaters. In sports, everyone is cheating. As soon as there's, money and power and recognition involved, someone is going to try to cheat.
I hope people are smart enough to notice it.
Okay, I can share one story from my childhood. There was a girl in my school when I was, I don't know, 11 years old or something, and I had a friend, a very good friend, and he was an amazing not painter. He was a draw. He could draw like super realistic, and I took his paintings or drawings into school, and I wrote my name under his writings because I wanted to feel like, I'm so amazing, and I wanted to impress that girl. You see, people do stupid stuff. That's also human. So yes, of course, you will have these people who desperately try to win a contest by enlisting, but everyone knows. Why do you care?
I'm just I don't have any answers,
Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to finish the story. You know what happened the same day? I drove somewhere and in the train, I don't know how it happened. That guy found me while I was showing off to someone in the train. It was so random because there was no probability that he would show up, and we ended up in the same train. And I still feel ashamed to this day. We laugh about it, but you know. So I think
I
like
think I trust
it'll
in
come out.
in the concept of that everything comes out eventually, and so I'm not too worried. I just don't want to be part of it.
To add to that, I think yes, everybody has the right to do both, to do AI images, conceptualization, and the street photography. But for me, I think because street photography is more of it's seeing, but for me, it's more of a feeling when you're out there. You try to feel what you're trying to capture. And if I'm gonna use AI to prompt images, it's gonna kind of pollute when I go out to do street photography, because now I have references of what I'm trying to look for. So for me, that's where I wouldn't want to mix the two or do both. But I know street photographers that are doing both. They're doing AI imagery. They have a whole page set up, and then they're still doing their street photography. I don't know if it's influencing how they shoot, how they see when they're out, but I think for me it would just get too muddy, and yeah.
For me, it's different. I think I would say even AI makes you a better photographer, because if you start to prompt, and if you start to generate images, and when you get better, you know how to explain an image to have a final result. So you need to have more knowledge on what you want to describe. So you get to have a certain observational skills in the real life to be able to prompt specifically correctly to get a final result that you want. So in terms of that, you are more aware of your environment when you go out, and how you observe and what you observe. And also on the technical side, if you prompt, for example, Midjourney, you can specifically say, or also in ChatGPT, specifically say what kind of lens you're using, shutter speed, all these technical details you can also put inside to get a specific result. So I think the more you prompt, the more you're aware of what you're doing. So it's more intentional.
So smart
I know it
asses will be
sounds.
the best photographers in the future.
I think specifically for street photography, I don't want to be prompt. I don't want to be aware. I want spontaneity to feel, to take over for me.
This
my
is already a
instincts
very
when I'm out shooting.
present debate, right?
So
you should know.
I think the more you know, this is just in regards to street photography, right? The more you know, it actually makes it a bit worse, because you should rely on mostly instinct, spontaneity, what you see and react, what makes you move. That's what makes you click the photo, right? So it
But
has to be something that
that
resonates with you.
Isn't
That's the
that
human
instinct
side.
that you're talking about it's more the experience part of yourself as a photographer? I mean, I'm not talking about like going to someone in the face and then take a portrait picture. I get it. It's candid. Street photography should be spontaneous, but your experience as a photographer is your gut instinct, that you see the light, or you see something is coming around the corner, or something's going to happen. So you anticipate certain situations to get a perfect picture that looks candid. And for me, it's that kind of gut feeling on instinct is based on your experience. It's my opinion.
Which is kind of like an algorithm, right? That you wrote yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say. We are not going to get anywhere, but I think it was a good exercise, and I have also been reading the chat alongside listening to my guests. So don't worry, guys. We are also reading the chat. We have also spoke about some of the comments. This is just maybe we should have dedicated like a Q&A at the end. But this is a complicated topic, and we have 4 people here. Everyone has a different opinion or perspective, and I just wanted to have this back and forth for a while. Yeah, I mean, I'm positive now, probably more positive than before this stream. But I was always positive that what I like to do, the kind of photography I like to do, and a lot of people watching are also enjoying to do, will always have a place. Even if it's just for us, but it will always have relevancy. It will not completely be in a different realm, or I don't know what's coming, but because we are still this is getting complicated, but each time period we photograph, and it teaches us about something about us, but in the moment we cannot learn from the teachings yet. In the present, I mean, only in the future we will learn.
I'm sorry.
From it.
I have to say something. This is I understand now where the problem lies. Street photographers only focus on the humankind, and now we are in the process where maybe a new entity is coming. Maybe not, maybe yes. But I feel like if street photographers are capturing daily lives, then they are kind of obliged to photograph AI. And you have not learned how to do
AI.
it. Yes, exactly. That's the problem.
So
That's why.
But you can photograph what AI is doing to humanity, what it's doing to the people. It's like the smartphones. You should. People say, don't take photos of people with smartphones, but
why not? Maybe this is the transition phase, and in 50 years there'll be such a different world where all of these smartphone images will be so valuable. So why not photograph AI, photograph the transition of time? Sorry, I opened another topic, but I couldn't resist.
Yeah, but I think that will definitely continue to happen. Every societal change that we can see from our point of view in our environment, we can witness, right? Like a witness of a century. We are witnesses. So that I'm not too worried about. Yeah, if it's going to be appreciated one day is another question. But we maybe won't live long enough to see what's going to happen with all the data we produce. There's another thing, all this data, all these images, it's already too much. Everyone is, releasing their little weekend zines, like I did 2 weeks ago. So there's just too much. Who cares? Some people care, and that's good. But my fear is that eventually less people care, and then it's just me and 2 or 3 of my friends. But I want to stay positive. I'm staying positive. Okay, I think we should come to an end. I feel like we touched on a lot of things, and this is another topic to come to a final conclusion at. It's constantly developing. So see you in another year. See you next year. Yeah, Elmar, you didn't really say anything, but how do you use AI? Maybe just share a little bit from your side if you want to share something. Otherwise,
I don't use it only for text prompting. But in the whole discussion, I see two general fears. It's the first is the humanization of AI, and the second is to be outsmarted by AI. And then I have a question that we don't need to answer right now. Maybe the comments can answer it. So if a AI robot would use a GR4 and takes great street images with it, how would you call the final images? That's my question.
I want to answer it, but I also don't want to answer it because I want to end the stream.
Yeah, let the people decide.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's cue in the outro music, which slowly will fade in now. Where is it? Yeah. Thanks Maya and Sofian for joining us this time. We couldn't have done this without you because we are not informed enough and have a different perspective, and it was good hearing your perspectives. I also really wanted to know, Sofian, what you are doing in the AI field, because you're doing a lot of research and using making tools, so could have been interesting, but I guess you wanted to keep it focused on the philosophy part. Cool. Should people find you somewhere? I will put your links in the description, but I know you don't care too much about that kind of stuff. But yeah. All right. Usually we look at photos at the end, but none of my guests, including our special guest today, wanted to share some photos, which is also totally fine. I actually have like 9 photos prepared to show, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to be the only one showing photos. But I had a crazy month, but I will reserve it maybe for next time. All right. Yeah, we will see what the topic will be next time. Still don't know, but feel free to suggest future topics after the stream in the comment section. And yeah, thanks for hanging out live with us. To everyone watching, and we see you next month. Anything coming up for you, Tim? Anything you want to plug? A new video on your channel? No?
I'm making a video on who's the street photography legends today. I'm actually going to record it right after this.
Okay.
All
right, nice. Yeah, I have probably also something coming up. I don't know yet. September is going to be a busy month, but yeah, maybe one video I can do that. Anything you want to say, Sofian, Maya, Elmar? No?
It's been
Just
fun.
try out,
Stay
please.
positive.
Time to go to bed for you
Stay
guys.
positive. Okay, next time we show up with AI avatars and we do the whole show. with,
Wait, Maya,
deepfake.
say it again. I think we spoke at the same time and I didn't hear you.
No, I just say, Samuel, you just need to try. Maybe you will realize that it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with street photography.
Yes, after our private conversation when we met, I signed up for Midjourney, but I have not paid for it yet. I mean, I have the trial, or I've not finally committed to it. But maybe I experiment with it. I've seen like Tatsuo Totsuki also posting some Midjourney photos. I think it's okay to have this conversation and try it out. There's no harm in it. And we photographers should be less sensitive about it. It's okay to experiment with it as long as it is not it's not a replacement, so there shouldn't even be this concern. It's a replacement for a lot of commercial photography, but not so much for us. And your family photos will also, are most valuable when they are real. So, okay, that's it. See you next time. Ciao. Good night. Good morning. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
Ciao,
Bye.
ciao, ciao, bye.